Covenir is not your typical outsourcer. The company was founded on the premise that insurers can grow faster and serve their customers better by partnering with the right team that offers the right complement of services. From frontline call centers to back office processing and physical print and mail operations, Covenir handles the heavy lifting and at scale across the full policy lifecycle. We'll explore more about their technical capabilities in a second, but I wanted to share something that I wasn't quite expecting. It was a consistent sentiment that came through as I chatted with various members of the Covenir team and their customers: empathy and connection. During implementation, a deeply personal connection was established with their operating stakeholders who were entrusting their moments of truth with a third party. And then, at those moments of truth, they actually delivered human and empathetic connection with a customer in need. Creating a deeply human experience requires deeply human leadership and passion, which starts at the top and with David Squibb, the CEO of Covenir. Having served the insurance industry for 30 years, David hasn't only had a front row seat to the evolution of service delivery, but he's been a driving force in how carriers can take full advantage of the opportunities that emerge at the intersection of technology and human connection.
You talked about, being, it used to be an extension of the team, but no, it actually is part of the team. I imagine that there's a certain culture that has to be cultivated, a certain leadership dynamic that you have to implement. And when you're a service provider and you're so disconnected from perhaps the actual customer, how do you do that? I mean, it seems like an incredible lesson to learn from the culture we've built there.
Yeah, it's interesting. We focus on it. It becomes one of our three major thrusts as a company every year, is the people aspect of what we do. We are, when you boil it all down, a BPO is a people business.
That's true.
Right? It's what I sell. I'm not selling software, although we employ technology in the delivery of our services. We are not selling a piece of technology. We are selling our ability to deliver on your brand promise.
Yeah.
The person who heads up my call center, she started as a temp. She worked for Smith & Wesson,
right,
on their help desk, answering people's questions about how to clean their guns. And she came in as a temporary employee, and we saw something in her.
Yeah.
And we decided we really wanted to invest in her. And she, to this day, has continued to grow in her career, coming from being a temp, and now she's running the call center. And it speaks to our focus on growing the people, because without the people, we don't have a business.
Of course.
And for me, that is so crucial to what we are and who we are as a company. We focus a lot on that.
Now, building that internal culture is so critical, particularly with the speed of innovation we're seeing in the industry today. That culture allows Covenir to marry cutting-edge AI with human touch. Their proven approach is to use technology and AI for speed and scale, and humans for empathy and oversight.
We met back at ITC a little bit ago, and technology, obviously, and the advancements, particularly with AI, are all the rage. How is Covenir just kind of philosophically balancing the appropriate adoption of technology while still not losing that essential human in the loop?
Sure. It's always an interesting conversation, because people fear that AI replaces people.
Right.
Therefore, there's going to be a time when BPOs or operational people are not needed. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. There's always going to need to be people in the loop on the way that they're doing things, how they're doing things. What we believe is that AI, big focus right now, but technology, AI, systems, modernization, all of those things play into how we operationalize, lower cost, bring it together. And we believe that partnering tools like AI with the human in the loop makes it for such a better experience for the end policyholder.
Imagine AI-driven systems triaging routine tasks in seconds, while skilled licensed insurance agents, they step in for complex or sensitive cases. It's a best of both worlds model. It's efficiency without losing compassion and keeping a human in the loop. As a former operations leader, I couldn't help but think about the challenges that I've had working with outsourcers in the past, particularly around onboarding as a new client. So to get that perspective, I chatted with a few Covenir customers to get their take.
The onboarding period was great. I mean, we got together, we collaborated, we talked about what's the standard, right? Within 24, 48 hours, there could be critical pieces of mail that needed to go sooner than others.
Right.
And just working from my perspective and our perspective, learning the processes that Covenir has, right? Mm-hmm. And also the processes that we had, and kind of blend those together.
Sure.
Weekly touch bases are critical. Yeah. And I think we did that probably for a good month or two, if not longer, and sometimes twice a month.
Yeah.
We had questions, they had questions. And that's important to collaborate, because you can't make an assumption when you have a service like that. So we got together on calls and just said, what's working well, what's not working well, right? Where's the miscommunication, or are there a lot of, documents coming in virtually that's creating a backlog?
Sure.
And also letting us know, right, that even if we don't have a weekly touch base, are you experiencing issues? Mm-hmm. Let us know what they are. And then if need be, because, there's a lot of different staff changes and things like that, then we can add someone from our team to help them out as well.
Right.
Or they can shift resources if they need to help us, depending on the volume. Because when you have a storm, there's a lot of volume coming in from a documentation standpoint.
Yeah.
So that's critical that everybody is on the same page and works well together. Even though they provide the service,
sure,
we still have those same expectations to our customer, and we want to help deliver those as well.
I imagine, I've been an operations leader like you, and one of the things that I always kind of struggle with is giving up that control, that my finger on the pulse. I know all the people doing all of the things. Right. How did they get you comfortable with being able to kind of let go and feel comfortable that it was going to get the same touch that you would give it?
So they have email addresses and phone numbers that all of our customers are calling.
Right.
So we're getting feedback from consumers if there's a problem or if there's a success. They're also reaching out to us. To start off, we sent a little bit of work to them, met with them every single week to talk about capacity, quality, and we did have to make adjustments. They actually had to staff more people to be able to meet the need for what we needed them to do, but they did that almost immediately. And after we originally implemented, there was a period of time where we had to push and pull and figure out what the right solution was. But once we got to that, then we could easily change it. Right. And it was like almost seamless, related to taking on new work, or even Covenir was kind enough to even offer additional solutions to provide kind of insight into our data.
We deployed the AI tool in our call center. And the question that came back was, will the tool, it's great that it helps the agents. It's great that it delivers a better experience and higher quality. That's great. Will it give me insights into collective data about all of my calls? And the example they used is, if all of a sudden call volumes for billing inquiries are spiking by 80%. Will we know that? The answer is yes. And they wanted to know that because then they're saying we need to go back into our product people and find out why are so many customers having issues with billing.
That's right.
They would have never seen that before.
That's right.
They never would know that. Our AI tool is telling us your billing is going, here's the trends, here's what's happening, and here's what you can do about it.
Yeah.
And that piece was super interesting to me. The notion of leveraging AI innovation to not only improve the experience or drive cost reductions, but to develop deep insight into the operations and part of the operations that may be way upstream from the contact center.
Right, we make a promise with the companies that we serve.
True.
And the original founding of the company, the original logo, it was all done in purple. And so the purple wedge of our logo really represents the segment of the business that Covenir services. And from the perspective of the pie chart, right, it's a modern take on a pie chart, our brand logo. Each segment represents a different portion of the insurer's business. different sizes, signifying they grow and they shrink at different times in different parts of their business. And so the Covenir portion is kind of faced to the right and upward, signifying growth and strength and stability. And then the intersecting white lines between the different pieces of the carrier's business talk about how all those different aspects of a carrier come together in the middle, focusing on the policyholder experience.
That attention to detail, it isn't just aesthetic, it shows up in how they structure their operations. And at the heart of Covenir's model is something increasingly rare in this space, trust. And trust in insurance, it starts with compliance. Being onshore with insurance experts, it means that carriers get regulatory peace of mind. No language barriers or unfamiliar regulations to worry about. And with proprietary innovations like IntelliMail Advantage, which is a proof of mail system, every document sent out is tracked with a full audit trail. Millions of insurance documents flow through Covenir's operations annually without a single compliance issue. Now that's the kind of reliability that insurers need in today's environment. At the end of the day, Covenir's story exemplifies how a modern BPO can drive strategy and not just cost savings. So to wrap up, let's look at Covenir through 5M's 5 factors, the 5 dimensions that we use to profile each solution provider. Starting with innovation, Covenir scores high here. They blend AI and technology with human expertise, from their assisted call centers to unique offerings like their call surge guarantee and IntelliClaims Advantage for call centers and their IntelliMail Advantage proof of mail. This just goes to show that they're not a static outsourcing shop. They're continuously introducing solutions that push the industry forward. Next, we look at usability, or in this case, the onboarding and engagement process. For insurers, Covenir just turned out to be easy to work with. They're not a cookie-cutter operation, and instead they work to deliver what each carrier or MGA needs. They're not just a body in a seat, but actually an extension of the carrier's team. And they don't mandate specific technology, but instead they seamlessly leverage each customer's unique technology stack, and they tailor their reporting and their processes to meet the client's specific need. This means minimal disruption and quick ramp-ups. One client said that it felt like plugging in a module to her company. That's how smooth it was. Next, we look at impact, and it was absolutely tangible, from accelerated growth to higher customer satisfaction and full compliance. We heard Tracy's story about rapid scale and Judy's example of improving accuracy. Similarly, Covenir's onshore, knowledgeable approach, it gives insurers confidence that their policyholders, they're in good hands. From a metrics perspective, they handle massive volumes, 400,000 inbound calls and more than 3 million lockbox payments and over 42 million pages of print annually, all with zero security or compliance issues on record. And they also help carriers maintain high NPS and retention by delivering great service. This is why they're known as the Wow Company. Next, we look at scalability, which is a standout factor for Covenir. With purpose-built infrastructure, they can scale from steady state to surge capacity in an instant. Whether it's a catastrophe driving up claims or a sudden growth spurt, Covenir can flex to meet demand. One carrier, as an example, they started a Covenir support team of just 3, and now it's staffed to over 60. Covenir scaled this for them without breaking a sweat, so insurers large and small, they can rely on that scalability. Finally, we'll look at support, where Covenir really shines, and on 2 levels, support for their policyholders and support for their clients. They provide empathetic 24/7 support to policyholders, as we've seen. And for the carriers, they offer dedicated account management, custom reporting, and a consultative approach. Their US-based team works in lockstep with insurers' own staff, and clients are consistently praising the above and beyond attitude of the Covenir people, calling them proactive partners rather than just contractors. Their customer satisfaction is over 9.8, and one client that measured NPS, they showed that Covenir's team ranked higher than their own internal agents. So at the end of the day, we believe that Covenir is transforming insurance operations. They prove that outsourcing can be customer-centric and innovation-driven. And by combining technology, empathy, and insurance know-how, they allow insurers to do more and to be more agile, to focus on strategy, and to deliver the kind of experience that policyholders expect today. Thanks for watching this episode of 5M Frontier. We hope that our insight into Covenir has provoked some thought about the BPO option. Stay tuned for more as we continue to explore the new frontiers of insurance technology and service. We'll see you on the trail.